Here we are. This is the final update in the certainly in the negotiating period that we gave the employer, because next week the executive meets on Tuesday, and we'll need to make a decision whether they believe we've made sufficient progress, or we'll be serving notice on the employer for Royal Mail Group in respect of us balloting for industrial action. Now, as you know, we deliberately set a period of time for Royal Mail to come to the table and avoid this situation. Once again, we've had frustration. Once again, as I reported yesterday, there are key issues that are outstanding that, quite frankly, we're not prepared to compromise on, the negotiating team. It's been very frustrating, and I think it's important in this report update on the negotiations that you actually get a feel from that from the other officers involved.
We've just completed 3 weeks of negotiations with Royal Mail. I've been supporting Terry Pullinger, our lead negotiator in these talks. The reality is the union is leading the way here. We have all the ideas, we have all the imagination, and we're being proactive in promoting our members' agenda. Royal Mail, they're shocking, absolutely appalling, clueless. They haven't got any idea of where to go and what to do next. We're showing them up and we're leading the way, and we have got our members behind us. Our members are on board, and we're on the march, and we're going to get the best deal possible for our members.
We've had around 12 days, I think, over the last 4 weeks, and what have been increasingly frustrating talks. There's been progress on some issues, but I have to say the company still seems wed to some ideology which we are going to find extremely difficult. In relation to the pipeline talks, where I've been spending most of my time, it's tough. The business are still wed to a cost reduction mantra. They're still wed to pushing most of the workload later in the day, which is clearly not a concept and not a position we're going to be able to easily accept. And we are still pushing hard to promote the CWU agenda, to try and make the company come to terms with the fact that they should be ambitious. They should be trying to grow their product base, grow their operational capability, and retreat from this project that they're on, which is purely about cutting capacity, cutting operational capability, and moving to the lowest common denominator with regards to pipeline. So very tough. I know some of the other issues are equally difficult. Terry's been dealing with pensions, the legally binding contracts. All of these issues are massively important to our members, they're massively important to the CWU, they're massively important to us as your negotiators, and we will continue to push. And if that means that we go beyond today, or that means that the executive has decisions to make on Tuesday, then that's where we are. Clearly, most of these issues affect not just Royal Mail, but Parcel Force and the other business units as well, and we are equally committed to driving a solution that will support all of our members across all of those business units and put us in the best footing moving forward.
Just want to say, first of all, to our reps and our activists, well done for all the the stuff that's on social media. Keep the pressure on the company. I think the company are feeling that pressure, but I have to say, being personally involved in the talks over the last month or so, and again this week, that it's incredibly frustrating when you're actually face to face in the room with Royal Mail, because they don't seem to want to move their position. They seem very fixated in their position, and as I say, that's incredibly frustrating. It's incredibly difficult for us to get them to understand our frustrations, but also your frustrations, around the future, the future of the company, and particularly from my area of responsibility for delivery members, particularly around the fact on the pipeline and going out later. The company have just fixated on the later acceptance time for parcels as a reason for pushing the whole of the core delivery network back later, when in reality I think what the talks are exposing is it's really about efficiency. It's not about the LAT. We said that we will work together with the company to come up with solutions for new products. We support that. Without growth, growth is good for everyone in the company, including our members, because it protects terms and conditions and their jobs. But it can't be to the detriment of the core universal service. It can't be to the detriment of our members' terms and conditions, and it can't be to the detriment of pushing the whole of the day back for our delivery people. So it's frustrating, but we're determined, absolutely determined to get a positive outcome, and we will continue to push the company for that. Thank you.
Well, there you go. You've just heard from my fellow officers who I've had the privilege and honour to share the negotiating room with for the last 4 weeks or more. And I'm extremely proud of them. They've been absolutely fantastic, along with the PEC members who've assisted us in these talks. You've got every right to be proud of them yourself as well. I can tell you that with absolute honesty. Now, this employer, in my opinion, has had every opportunity to come to the table and to meet our expectations in respect of what we believe you deserve, which is employment, standard of living, pension security, and the knowledge that this business has the right vision to ensure that we still remain an excellent company and that you and new employees can come into it and enjoy providing that great public service that we do. So people may say, am I disappointed with the talks that's gone on? Yeah, well, of course I'm disappointed, but I've got to tell you, I've never felt so confident, so proud, so optimistic in my life about what we are standing up for as a trade union. After these weeks of talks, after some of the dialogue and some of the things that have been drawn out, I am more convinced than ever that we're on the right side of these arguments. I've seen these management negotiators across the table, and I can tell you now, they have seen the growing strength and power and support that we've got from our members. They are having to second think their position. I absolutely believe that. And they've not done it quick enough. They faffed about. In many ways, I think they've seemed leaderless in terms of being able to make those really tough decisions. So someone's got to force that over the line, and that will be us. And it is our ultimate weapon if we have to take industrial action. No one does that lightly. We don't want this business to fail. We don't want that for our business. We want it to carry on the way it has and honour its heritage. But it will not do that if we take a step back and accept the vision of this employer. And that's why I think it's absolutely crucial that all of our members understand that this union's leadership is not going to compromise on these issues. If it has to go the most difficult route, then so be it. But I think we've got the strength to change the direction and the future of this company and give you, our members, everything that you deserve. You've built it. You deserve to shape it. You're the biggest single block of shareholders. You absolutely have a right to have a view and influence its outcomes. And at the very least, you deserve the security that we're trying to get for you in an agreement. So yes, we've got the executive on Tuesday. You'll hear from the way I'm speaking, it's pretty obvious what we're going to be reporting back to that executive, and I'm absolutely sure they will make the right decision as well. We've given management time. There's always time right up to the last minute, even if we have to ballot, etc., for them to come to the table and starting to talk sensibly and respect the strength of feeling and power that this union and its membership are showing. If they choose not to do that, then that's their choice and it will be to their peril, because we are absolutely determined to fight for what is right. So there's no concern with your leadership that we're not doing the right thing. You've given us the support. We thank you for that. But it's not misplaced, and we certainly won't abuse it. And we are not going to cave in on some of these key issues. We do not accept that we have to have 2-tier or 3-tier pension provision in this company. Everyone who works for it should have the same right to the same pension provision. We do not accept that you shouldn't have a proper pay rise for your efforts last year. Your efforts were sufficient to give an increase in dividend to shareholders. It still produced a profit for this company, and you deserve a pay rise. Do not sell yourself short. We do not deserve to see the whole of our pipeline shifted later in the day, to the point that we would see deliveries not going out until nearly lunchtime or beyond. It's ridiculous, the proposal, purely to save money, nothing about service, nothing about growth. And we absolutely believe that you deserve the security of knowing that the Growth and Stability Agreement, the legally binding agreement, the review date for that will be moved out till 22, to give us the chance to ensure that we've got the right foundation to continue to cooperate with our employer. If those things are not forthcoming in sensible negotiations, then they will have to come out of adversity, and come they will. Thank you.